And Sergeant Fitzgerald is our crime analysis and mapping program.
Now, is that the NIXL program?
No, that's not NIXL. This is through crime reports, the crime reporting analysis, where actually we some of the wards that I've addressed and had the pleasure of meeting with the aldermen, where your neighborhood watch block captains can log right into BerwynPoliceDepartment.com and hit crime reports, and they can focus in on their areas, on their streets, to see what crime is happening.
This way it allows the resident to become a little more familiar with what is happening so that we can have the eyes on the street. Is that the whole philosophy of the program?
Absolutely, because the community is the eyes and ears of making us do our job better.
And what's that website again?
That's BerwynPoliceDepartment.com.
Now, could you explain what the NIXL program is?
NIXL is a program, it's a government program where if we had to send out a neighborhood alert, everybody in the community around the area could sign up for NIXL. If we have a series of, like we had a couple armed robberies, we can send out a blast to all the people who sign up for this program to know that we had a couple armed robberies, and we had offender descriptions and pictures on there. Or when we had the recent flooding, we could inform them, send out blasts about what's going on with the flooding, applications, and so on. So it's a tool that we use to keep the communication going back and streamline communication with the community and the residents.
That tool seems like it would be a great aid to law enforcement because it gets information out there sooner and possibly information coming back sooner. Is that the whole theory?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's, as I say, and I stress to everybody I meet in the community, is that if you see something, say something. And it's anonymous who we receive the information from. If they know of someone involved in some criminal activities that compromises the safety of our citizens and visitors, that's a tool that we try and use and promote to the city.
Now, how does somebody go about signing up for NIXL?
You go right to BerwynPoliceDepartment.com, and there's a link to click on, and you just give us your cell phone information or your computer email, and every time we send out a neighborhood alert, it goes right to them.
Beautiful, beautiful. How about the Neighborhood Watch program? You've taken some steps to try and bring that up to some strength also.
Absolutely, and Bill and Unit Commander Jim Cisetti does a great job with that, and we're just trying to build on that. And with our neighborhood, with the newsletters going out, I'm trying to get the department involved with the division commanders and members of the other members of the department to reach out to the community, see who's working for them. And as a matter of fact, this upcoming newsletter for November is going to feature Detective Joe Peterson, who's retiring after 32 years on the Berwyn Police Department.
Yeah.
So that's building that relationship within the department and communication, and getting all the officers involved with the community too.
And underneath your guidance, we've also established a senior newsletter and Neighborhood Watch program also.
Yes, and that's our commitment to the seniors who, as we spoke with at the one meeting, that's our largest growing population throughout the United States of America, and that 70 to 90 age bracket, and that's our commitment to them, to make sure that they have someone they can reach out to. And in the programs you had over with the flooding and the heat, where we had the off-site, the cooling centers, and sending out our seniors bottled water. And a program I'd like to start is where we start with our new enhanced 911 coming in, where we could contact those who want to be contacted on a daily basis or a weekly basis, just to check in, make sure that everyone's doing okay.
Now, one of the things that impressed me when I interviewed you for this position was your interest in the Explorer Police program. Could you expound on that a little?
Yes, that's a program near and dear to my heart to get, and again, teaching at a college level, or dealing with 18, 19, 20-year-olds and up, to get involved with law enforcement and to have that mentality where to get you get the kids involved at a younger age, to learn about law enforcement and to know about right and wrong, and learning from mistakes that we've all made as teenagers. And that's a commitment to build that program, which Detective Carmelita Terry has done a great job. And I just told her the other day, because they were lacking some radios, and I said, as a Christmas present to that program, I'd like to personally buy those radios for her team of explorers.
And you've been very generous with respect to helping out wherever possible with your own personal funds, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. In this advent of what we hear so often in the news about bullying and peer pressure, that Explorer program is almost acting in the opposite reverse, putting peer pressure on others to see the example set forward by our Berwood Explorers.
Oh, exactly, and to that early involvement with our outreach programs and initiatives and building on that, the sooner you get a kid or a child or youth involved with programs like that, it's sort of a preventative maintenance for them getting involved with I'm not going to say criminal activities, but activities involved with bullying, fighting, as we refer to them sometimes as punks in the neighborhood, but that's when they see that and you see more kids involved with it, I think it leads them into the right direction.
Now, what we have also discussed in the past, you and I know you've discussed it with other members of the police department here, is some other programs to get into the schools. Mm-hmm. I know you've been very active with security around the schools and with respect to trying to outreach to the schools. Can you tell us more about what you would like to do further?
I'd like to build on the programs, and I met with Mr. John Belmont from the North School District 98. I've been in contact with Superintendent Stan Fields too, and Dr. K from the Morton High School District 201 is where we'd like to start implementing an EDGE program or a GREAT program to teach the kids about gang education and awareness, and they all incorporate a drug abuse and awareness education program. Again, that early intervention to get kids involved and to see they're going to be making tough decisions in their life, and they're going to have many choices, and to make sure that they make the right choices on there. And we'd like to build that program to get into the grade school level educational programs about that, to hit them on specifics with that.
Now, you brought up a topic that's been a conversation here in this community for quite some time, and that's gangs. And I know that for the last 19 months, we've been very active, proactive with respect to our treatment of gangs and drugs and crime in the neighborhood. Could you tell us how that is progressing?
Oh, it's progressed great. We've had, our enforcement efforts on that have been phenomenal. We've had officers out on foot patrol, going through the neighborhoods. We knock on door. We work hand in hand with the Illinois Department of Corrections, adult probation. So through our crime analysis and mapping, we get all the information about people coming in and out of town. We also do our enforcement with our ATVs going through the alleys, our segways, and we utilize all the resources we can. We knock on doors, let people know that we're out there to try and, again, prevent any type of criminal activity in the future, what we've had.
And that's the whole idea behind the fortification of the TACT unit, was to have a proactive stance for prevention, is that not?
Absolutely, absolutely. And under Technical Coordinator Sergeant Mike Oshner, they've done just a great job. We've built that relationship with the surrounding communities, Cicero, Oak Park, North Riverside, Lyons, Stickney, and working with the Wedge anti-gang program. We've also had gang initiatives with the Cicero Police Department, the U.S. Marshals, the Cook County Sheriffs, where that resulted in numerous arrests and going into other jurisdictions and focusing on the gang element and the drug traffickers.
And I believe our cooperation with the FBI has been unprecedented in this community also with respect to the gang control.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just from a couple of the search warrants that were executed from information that came from our department, and to work with the federal government, who has, utilizing their resources and their capabilities in the federal system to go after those who compromise the safety of our residents and our visitors. It's working in collaboration with them that makes everything successful, and again, having that input from the community, which leads us to a lot of arrests, which we lead on to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the U.S. Marshals, and working with them to combat that crime.
and we have officers assigned to all these various other governmental law enforcement agencies on an